Trump really doesn't seem too concerned about where we're at in Iran right now. And that's hilarious to me because the narrative that's being pushed or had been pushed is that Iran's winning. They want us, Trump's failing in every opportunity. He's really stressed about this. He's leaving even the nuclear aspect off the table now. It's all about opening the Strait of Hormuz. And meanwhile, it comes out that even CNN is now reporting that Trump's instructing his top administration envoys to just stop talking with Iran. We're not worried about it. White House officials have reportedly communicated to political allies they're shifting their strategy, going from hammer them ASAP to strangle them over time. Yeah, that sounds about right. By the way, we've been saying that. CNN, as usual, is about a month late to the real story, but they do report some stuff eventually when they have to, when it's so obvious. In fact, they're going so far now as to say the U.S. is gaining ground and Iran is losing much of its control in the Strait of Hormuz. Wow, that's coming from CNN. Now, what do I tell you guys all the time? When the mainstream media is actually reporting truth, it means that it's obvious. It's the same with polls. Like in the other segment when I showed you guys, when the polls are in the summertime, far away from the election, they sway them way far to the left for the Democrats. They do that for a lot of reasons. Discourage you, raise money for the Dems, etc., etc. This has been going on for the last many election cycles, and now we have the proof. Well, it's the same in the media. See, the media will push their narrative on you as long as they think it can make a difference. But once it can no longer make a difference, when they see that the end is near, they will actually report a little bit of truth because they need you to still trust them. See, if they lied in every single story they ever put out, nobody would read them because they'd get tired of it being wrong all the time. But when CNN puts something out like this, you know that the Trump administration is winning the current operation in Iran. And as a result, they're now going to report it as such. So then later they can say, well, we told you so. We did cover it. We told you. We were truthful the whole time. This is where we're at. And this tells me more than anything else that people that have been watching this channel or other channels like mine who have dared to tell you guys the truth from the beginning, who have dared to go against the narratives and say, it doesn't make any sense that we'd lose here or that we're falling behind. Look at these numbers. Look at how much strong our military is. Look at what's happening in China. Look at what's happening in Europe. Trying to put the whole picture together and not listening to the Iranian propaganda. Turns out we're all now being validated. This is why the mainstream media is failing, because there are people who will actually dare to try to figure it out ahead of time, to dare to tell the truth ahead of time. And guess what? Dare to actually trust our president? Oh, imagine that. Imagine that. We actually have a good guy in charge for once. A good guy who's telling us the truth, or at least the direction of the truth most of the time. And the only reason I even say that is because sometimes Trump can't tell us everything. We are winning. It's moving forward. And now CNN reporting it. For the CNN to say we're gaining ground, that's a big deal. And them to admit Iran's losing control of the Strait of Hormuz. Guys, at this point, we might as well assume they have no control over the Strait of Hormuz, because all we've heard for the last 3 months is how we have completely given up the Strait of Hormuz. Iran controls it. We're screwed. Meanwhile, the whole time oil was passing through. One of the reasons our gas prices are lower. Funny how that works. Oh, and then we get this. UAE has just halted all trade and financial transactions with Iran. What? You mean the Middle East is turning on them too, joining our side? Matt Forney says, oh, that's why the Iranian propagandists are pushing Trump is about to flee from the Middle East lie. Far from being intimidated and accepting Iranian domination, the Gulf Arab states are cutting Iran off completely. Iran lost, Trump won. Yeah, just like yesterday, when I reported how Iran came out and was like, oh, you have 4 weeks to cede to our demands. We're done playing around. It's time to unleash our super duper secret hypersonic missiles that we don't really have. It's time to unleash hell that Douglas McGregor, Scott Ritter, and Alex Jones and all these people told us that we could do because we were just waiting for the right time. We didn't care when you destroyed our Navy. We didn't care when you destroyed our Air Force. We didn't care when you blockaded us and destroyed our economy. We didn't care, but now we care. Now we're really angry. Yeah. Last week we get the soldiers are literally jumping off the aircraft carrier to their deaths because they cannot stand how bad things are on an American aircraft carrier. Really? This is the best they could come up with? Yeah. Tells you a lot, doesn't it? The worse the propaganda, the less truth they have to report. And the more they're trying to get you to not see what's actually happening. They are losing and losing badly. And if you don't believe me, how about we ask the Iranians? They decided to have a little fundraiser. I guess this is like their, like watching on PBS. Call in now as this giraffe juggles. This is the Iranian version trying to raise some money for their war efforts.
آرزوی مشترک این روزهای همه مردم ایران اینه که ما یه روزی بیایم
خبر
مرگ ترامپ رو اعلام بکنیم در برنامه که ایشالله به زودی این اتفاق بیفته.
امیدوارم این افتخار نصیب من بشه.
حالا ما یه سوالی داریم از مخاطبان می‌خوایم بپرسیم.
You guys want a They raised 810 million Iranian rials, which is about $435. Hey, can I, if you guys are going to do a telethon, let me give you some advice there in Iran. Don't cover your hot women in blankets. You want men to pay for something? At least show a shoulder. At least, let us know her hair's not falling out. It's really hard to raise money. But, apparently the Iranians really believe in their war efforts as they've raised a whole $430. It's going real well for them, folks. Real well for them. And you want to know we're winning? Well, again, look at how it's going for the enemy. It'll give you a good idea. So, Iran talks have halted, and now we get Trump talking about Canada. I've paused the 50% tariffs against Canada that were scheduled to kick in tomorrow morning for a 3-day period based on the fact Canada and the USA, subject to the finalization of documents, have a deal. The Keystone pipeline. Long ago killed by sleepy Joe Biden, may be awoken from the grave. Thank you for your attention to this matter. What? Remember the Keystone pipeline? Started at the end of Trump's first term. Almost got in. It was going to thousands and thousands of jobs. I off the top of my head, I want to say it was like about 17,000 jobs while it was being built. And as soon as Biden came in, he killed it. Yeah. Why? Because energy dominance is a good thing. Energy dominance goes against the globalist narrative. It sets people free as our energy gets cheaper and more abundant. This creates a closer tie to Canada in a good way because this is good for their people and ours. Make a lot more money when that energy can be transported easily. The Keystone pipeline is a big, big deal. And Trump, through this pressure campaign, is getting Mark Carney, banker for City of London, one of the most deep stater heads of state there is now so pressured that he's willing to go back and sign another agreement on the Keystone pipeline. Things must be really, really bad in Canada. Because anytime there's freedom, anytime there's more energy abundance, cheaper prices for the people, your dollar goes faster. That's more power for the people. The more power there is for the people, the less likely you are to be able to control them. This is not good for the City of London globalists. This is the opposite of what they want. But the pressure campaign is working. The tariffs, turns out, Trump was right. They hold a lot of power. And so while we're watching mainstream media admitting Iran's falling apart, We're winning while Canada is now caving to our demands, making things better for the American people by re-upping one of the main projects killed by the globalists. They're going all in on one of their last hopes to get us into war and get things picked up so they can actually gain power again, or at least keep their economies going. And that is Ukraine and Russia. The latest, NATO officials have released a plan in the instant Russia was to invade a Baltic country or fire missiles, according to Bild. Remember, we've been watching this, and their goal has been, for a while now, get Russia to attack a NATO member. If you can get Russia to attack a NATO member, you can use the excuse of enacting Article 5. And if that's enacted, you now have pressure on the U.S. to join the war. And all the other countries have an excuse to do it as well. This is what they want. And their plans tell you they're really trying to, prepare for this. First, NATO would intercept the incoming missiles, begin a massive strike campaign against military infrastructure, in particular Kaliningrad, while also targeting Russian launch points close to the borders of the Baltics. This is their plan if one of them gets struck. Immediately start striking back. Second, if Russia decided to launch an armored attack on a Baltic state, NATO forces would meet these attacks via setting up a gray zone on the border aimed at slowly Russian offenses and delivering heavy losses with drones and other autonomous systems first in order to stop the momentum of assaults first and counterattack with armored brigades. Armored brigades. That means sending people in. Third, once an assault was stopped, NATO would form an air bridge and begin to target Russian military infrastructure at long range with missiles and drones deep into the country. You see what they're trying to do? It's pretty obvious. They're itching for Russia to make a mistake. You wonder why there's even the ability to make the argument that Ukraine is, even fighting this war on an even ground with Russia. It's because Putin has to stay restrained. He has to hold back this whole time. Because if he fully unleashed, NATO has been trying to get into the war. And Putin's been playing it perfectly. And I do believe Trump, once we're done with Iran, is going to he's going to do everything he can to end this between Ukraine and Russia. And here's even more. NATO surrounds Kaliningrad with a massive aerial operation. NATO launched a major aerial operation around Russia's Kaliningrad region this morning involving multiple reconnaissance aircraft and numerous fighter jets. The move comes as Russia has recently moved hypersonic-capable warships, a significant volume of military airships shipments into the Baltic, possible drone shipments among the cargo. The Baltic is becoming increasingly active. You see what they're trying to do? They need this. Let me put it that way. The globalists need World War III because right now it's going so bad for the EU. It's going so bad for the city of London. As Trump is winning in Iran, they've lost their ability to manipulate shipping, manipulate oil prices. That's all falling apart. China has pulled away from the globalists as Trump has siloed them, told them stay out of it. We're going to start operating as sovereign nations. We're not doing this whole everybody intertwined proxy crap anymore. I'm setting the Gulf states free. As he's winning there, is it any coincidence they're ramping up here? Europe is getting weaker and weaker by the day. The globalists are getting weaker and weaker. They have one play left. Two, if they can crash the markets, which I'm starting to wonder if they can do that anymore. Why wait so long? Oh, maybe because it'll hurt them too. That might be it. That might be like their cyanide pill. But here is the tell. Russia and Ukraine, they've offered peace terms many times, and they make sense. They make absolute sense, these peace terms, especially the ones Russia first came to Ukraine with. That Macron and Boris Johnson flew into Ukraine to tell them, do not accept this, because they got to keep it going. They're ramping it up, hoping against hope that if they do this, if they start Europe versus Russia, that they can pull America into it. And in doing so, ramp up. I mean, they have ways to forgive debt. They can ramp up the war machine, get all that manufacturing moving, invade, take Russia's resources. War is the one way they can save themselves. And it's pretty clear to me they're trying to get there. This is panic time. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to be able to avoid it, but it's definitely ramping up. So we'll see how it goes. Now, Trump, while this is going, he's also rebuilding our military, taking it to the next level. The greatest military in the world, one that we've already seen many times. I mean, because of Venezuela, how easily we took out Iran's systems. I mean, we see that our military is by far the greatest in the world history. And all Trump wants to do is make it even stronger. We just signed a new deal with Raytheon. And I'll let Duffy say what.
Well, listen, I think President Trump, Secretary Hegseth are leading when it comes to ensuring that we're rebuilding the military and revitalizing the defense industrial base. Having a healthy defense industrial base can only help us when it comes to ensuring that we are prepared to defeat any adversary. That's true in today's fight and tomorrow's fight. And so this deal that we've rolled out is a great deal for America. It's an opportunity for us to rebuild the military and create multiples of production on a combat-proven missile, the Tomahawk missile, that is sought after worldwide. We've created 3,000 jobs in Tucson just for the Raytheon factory alone, let alone the entire supply chain. And we're building the workforce, we're building the supply chain, and we're building the factories that we need to ensure that we will have a military that's prepared to fight any enemy for the next generation. Well, listen, I think President
This guy kind of reminds me of Milton from Office Space. I'm not going to lie. Sorry, that's kind of mean. But regardless, the news is good. We now have the Tomahawk missiles. Trump is having them build 1,000 a year now, really ramping up all that. And it's providing 3,000 new jobs. You see what happens when we use more of the American system, when the government actually invests in what's good for the people, how to protect our nation, how to industrialize our nation. It leads to jobs. It leads to investment in our nation. This is what we always should have been. This is good. This is what we want to see. It's good for the domestic economy, good for the military, and just makes us stronger and stronger because, again, folks, we do have real enemies. And it's crazy to think that NATO might be one of them. Not that we'd ever go into war against NATO, but I got to say, the stronger we are, the more we can just demand all this cease. And so that's what Trump wants to do. He wants to lead by strength. And just a reminder, as Department of War puts it out there, we are going to win. And I'm at the point now where I believe every single time they post one of these pictures that go so hard, they're stylized. They just have this either Patriots in control, we're going to win, stuff like that. I believe these are actual signals. That's the reason they post them. This isn't news. This is just straight out, boom, here you go. They're posting this on the day CNN is also reporting Iran is weak, we're gaining ground. Do you think that's coincidence? I don't think so. I think something has shifted. We're moving into a new phase of cleaning up what's left to do in Iran, how to finish it all up. And from there, moving into the next phase, which will be ending Russia-Ukraine and ending Cuba as it is. I mean, Rubio's made that very clear. And the reason I think that's coming is because NATO and the EU seem to be preparing for that as well. And they're doing it by ramping things up because they have to try to make their move before Trump is out of Iran and has full leverage again. That's what they're hoping for. That's what we're watching, but I'm not worried about it. I really do believe we have a plan and we're in position to win all this. And the globalists are the ones panicking, not us.